All right, good evening, everyone. I'm starting off the stream now because I don't know, I guess. Hey, everybody, it's Bryce and David here. We're tracking some strong storms in the Austin area. You guys get to see a little behind the scenes on how David does his setup over there, which is pretty awesome. But, David, why don't you tell everyone what we're actually doing tonight? It's pretty fun.
Tonight we are kind of just tracking the radar. We're doing some wall-to-wall coverage here. We're tracking some storms out there. Not just Austin, San Antonio. We're also going to do some state of Texas weather coverage and maybe even some national. We'll see. But tonight's forecast or update of a stream is a little bit different, but it's probably how it's going to be the next couple of days because not just tonight we have this storm risk, but tomorrow we have another storm risk, and Thursday we have another storm risk. So expect the next couple streams here, they're going to be just radar updates or maybe tropical stuff thrown in. So just a mixture of everything. So yeah, that's pretty much what we have for that.
Plus some live updates as well. If things do go severe, if there are some big flooding threats and things like that, we'll make sure to bring you guys some live coverage when we can, which is pretty awesome. All right, David, why don't you take a look at the radar map and actually show us what we're looking at tonight?
Yeah, this evening we were tracking some storms out there across Central Texas, mainly the Hill Country. Remember at this time yesterday, we were like, hey, there's some storms in Blanco County. And yes, there was actual storms. We are actually covering the same area where there were storms yesterday. So, hey, 24 hours ago, not much of a difference at all. But this time, one thing that's a little bit different is the storms are actually more further east and west. But where we had that red the other night, yesterday, that's literally in the exact same spot. So that's pretty funny. One isolated storm just west of Dripping Springs right now. A pretty good storm out there northwest of Johnson City, south of Round Mountain. We got some thunderstorms out there right now. As we take a look at, oh, by the way, we also do got some lightning popping up on the radar. So that's a clear indication that these storms are still pretty feisty, still pretty strong. I was actually outside. Storm TV Studios is where I'm broadcasting from. And from where I live at, these storms came my direction. They kind of just fell apart as soon as they made it to my area. But I was able to catch a wall cloud, or excuse me, a shelf cloud, and that shelf cloud was very phenomenal. And here's the video of the shelf cloud that I recorded. This is what I got, and look at this. Look at the outer bands of this. That's the size of the shelf cloud, and that rain shadow in the distance. Virgo also in the distance. That's another word for rain shadow. So again, very nice. And again, there's that wall cloud or shelf cloud out there this evening, which was very phenomenal. Here's another view of it, the dark clouds and just the rain out in the distance. Again, tonight was definitely an unexpected night to see activity or anything like this evening, which kind of was a shocker. I was not expecting to see something as beautiful like this. And temperatures were in the lower 80s, and then we just dropped 5 degrees from the storm. And we actually had some storms earlier this afternoon in Marble Falls. And maybe about 2 hours later, we had more storms. We've had some back-to-back storms. Here's another video. This is like a mobile version of it. It's when we post on a YouTube Shorts probably here in a little bit. And then there's also another vantage point of the dark clouds and in the rain in the distance. So again, it was a very, very interesting evening that we had in our area. So as of now, again, when we were just showing you all this, there was some red near Johnson City that has gone away. So these storms are barely holding on right now. Now we are noticing some outflow boundaries right here. We actually have 2 outflow boundaries. We have one coming in from the north to south, and we have another outflow boundary over here, but it looks like they have merged together. So there's a possible risk that we may get a new storm that may bubble up right here. We do have a South Austin camera. We also have an Austin skyline camera. So if we can get those rolling here very soon, I'm very curious if we are going to be verifying if a new storm could develop there. But again, west to south, that's where we have some of these storms that we're watching right now. Looks like, I think this is a bat, because yesterday at this time, we had this blip right here of an indication of a storm. I'm going to say this is bats, not an actual storm, because it showed the exact same area. And then again, I said these were pretty much the same things from yesterday. With the storm, when we were live around this time yesterday, we had storms northwest Johnson City. Well, these storms are actually real, and they're in a different scenario. West Dripping Springs, an actual shower. And again, that's what we are watching out there right now. So again, guys, that's what we're watching right now. And I'm going to go ahead and jump off screen here now. And you can see out there in Austin. Did I shot the clouds out there? Just some serious clouds, but anvil clouds has taken over the skies this evening. But a great shot out there in downtown Austin with no storms right now, generally speaking, in downtown Pryor. Back to the radar here. There's a possibility that this might be some light showers. If we can get our Round Rock camera working, we can verify this, if this is actual rain or not. But the radar is estimating or indicating that there's some light precipitation occurring right now from Leander to Round Rock to Lago Vista to near Lakeway. So very optimistic this is actual precipitation. And here's our Round Rock shot. The roads are very wet. There's some of those clouds in the distance where it does look like it's raining right now, even a orange color in the background. So very possible that there is some showers falling right now in in Round Rock, but the precipitation is rather light. And yeah, that's pretty much what we are seeing out there right now. In portions of Williamson and Travis counties. In Hayes County, we had that one little shower that is starting to fall apart right now. The storms in Blanket County, they're really trying to hold. They are really trying to hold. There's some lightning bolts being indicated by radar. New scan just came in. It's now showing a new little storm, maybe trying to get going near Gillespie County. So we're going to have to see if that can actually become something or actually get a name. I have a sneeze, think Abby. Whoa. Sorry about that. And earlier we had some storms out there in Llano County. Heavy thunderstorms earlier in Llano County towards Tao, and now it is just some light precipitation that is falling right now as things are starting to wind down. So that's pretty much what's happening in the Austin-San Antonio area. Things are slowly wrapping up this evening here. We will take a look at your forecast across the rest of the state of Texas here, radar-wise, here in just a moment. But tonight, the Weather Prediction Center has thrown out a level 1 out of 4 marginal risk for flooding from TV studios to Round Rock to Austin to San Antonio point southeast. This risk for some low-lying flooding is mainly for this afternoon, and really from this afternoon to 10 minutes ago. I think our flood risk for the rest of tonight is pretty much 0. But tomorrow, the Weather Prediction Center has outlined the entire viewing area under a level 1 risk of flooding. So what we had today will most likely happen again tomorrow. Today's rain chance was roughly around a 30-40% chance. Tomorrow's rain chance is going to be up to a 40%, maybe even up to a 50%. And then I've changed rain chances on Thursday to a 50 to a 60% rain chance now, as self-confidence of storm chances will really grow in our area. And then that's for your Wednesday, and this is your Thursday outlook. Also the same story, the entire viewing area under level 1 risk for flash flooding. And again, we'll continue to watch and monitor this closely throughout the next couple of days. And again, tonight and today's the day where the risk for some flooding is possible. Obviously, today, nobody's received any flooding in our viewing area. All right, so again, on radar, some storms out there, just left over in Johnson City, and one little storm east of Fredericksburg, but that's about it with what we're monitoring right now. Giving you a picture look at the weather across the state of Texas. Let's go out towards West Texas, towards San Angelo, and you can see out there right now, things are relatively quiet from Menard back to Junction. But if you go towards West Texas, like the real West Texas, look at this towards Midland, Odessa. We got some storms off to your guys' east right now. Some storms near Big Lake and Garden City right now. In West Texas, we also have some pretty decent storms out there. Just to the west of Penwell right now, south of Kermit and east of Kermit. There's some storms this evening, but nothing too chaotic at the time being right now. And over towards like the coast, earlier today we have some special weather statements and special marine warnings in Corpus Christi. Things are relatively quiet, and the further south you go in Texas, Things are okay. Air quality concerns in Houston. What's the radar looking like right now in Houston? At this time yesterday, we were tracking severe weather in Harris County, and now things are very quiet in the Houston area, which is awesome. How's North Texas looking? DFW air quality alert, but radar is hinting some storms out there right now. Nothing too concerned with what we're tracking or monitoring right now, I should say. And then across the Panhandle, out towards Amarillo, things also relatively okay with just a few daytime pop-up storms that are occurring. And of course, if any of our friends or you know anyone that's in Oklahoma or Arkansas, they're dealing with some isolated severe weather threats, as there is a low end risk of severe weather this evening, again, for our friends further towards the north. So again, guys, that is what we are tracking. Reading the comments here, we got Clint, we got Kristen, and we got Shelly. I appreciate you tuning in to everyone. And of course, you're welcome for providing this coverage to y'all. And thank you, Shelly, for that. And again, guys, before we go ahead and go to Bryce here for an update, again, guys, this is just a little leftover of the storm. Johnson City getting a downpour right now in the west side of Blanco. Also getting a downpour right now, but again, no stronger severe weather is anticipated anymore. I expect this activity the weekend to keep into the coming hours. There's one more thing I want to check real quick. It was this outflow boundary that is between, let's see, we had an outflow boundary right here. They've actually met together. So the question is will a new storm merge, or are we just done with precipitation chances? That's a big question mark and a good question. So typically when two outflows merge together, there's a sign that there could be some more storms. So we'll see what happens. If anything gets going, we'll be somewhere around the Hayes County area where we'll watch that tiny risk for an isolated shower. And then here we go. Here are some bats. We got some bats starting to appear right now out there in Calmel County, Southwest New Braunfels. So I want to point this out. If y'all are new to storm, we cover the Greater Austin, and San Antonio area, back towards Kerrville, Fredericksburg, and Mason, to Gonzales, LaGrange, to Milam County. That is pretty much the bulk of our 19 counties we cover here at storm. So again, back on the radar, just not a whole lot tracking right now. Again, the activity is slowly winding down, but again, guys, that is about it with what we're tracking right now. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go over to Bryce right now. He got some information he wants to give y'all. Bryce?
All right, thank you, David. Just real quick, I wanted to go ahead and jump in here real quick because I wanted to give you guys sort of the big picture update on the state of Texas weather. David kind of touched on this just a second ago, and I also want to update you guys on where that cold front is that we've been talking about. So here's the big state of Texas weather picture for you guys right now. I'm going to go ahead and kind of zoom on in here and kind of show you what we're looking at here. Down in sort of southwest Texas here, we do have some heavy rainfall just off the southwest of San Antonio, and this is actually where we were concerned about that. We talked about the drought concern out near San Antonio. Over and this morning's afternoon forecast. We do have a little bit of leftover precipitation just north of Austin. That's what David was talking about just a moment ago. We showed that on a Round Rock camera. Then we do have some slightly strong storms out to the west of San Angelo over towards Midland. A couple of these were warned for special weather statements, but those have been allowed to expire. Now, if you watch today's afternoon forecast, we talked a lot about this cold front that's kind of increasing our rain chances over the next day. It's really just a weak little front that's moving through. I wanted to update you guys on the position of that because that is where we have been seeing some severe weather. So for our friends over in Oklahoma and Oklahoma City, even parts of Arkansas, as you guys can see here, Fayetteville, you guys are under a severe thunderstorm warning. Let's get the details on that for you real quick here. So Fayetteville, you guys are under a severe thunderstorm warning until 8 p.m. This is going to be for just under quarter-size hail, 60 mile per hour wind gusts. Here's another severe thunderstorm warning out in eastern Oklahoma near Wagoneer until 7:45 p.m. 60 mile per hour wind gusts, again, just under quarter-size hail associated with that one. That's going to be for nickel-size hail. And then here's that Chickasaw severe thunderstorm warning. I believe this one just got issued about 20 minutes ago. This is until 7:30 p.m. for nickel-sized hail as well. We've got one more just off here to the west. That's a special weather statement. We would like to see a thunderstorm warning. That was just issued about 10 minutes ago for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We do actually have some strong storms associated with this front as it kind of works its way across the U.S. That's going to be what's going to be hitting us in the Austin area sometime tomorrow. So we're really looking forward to getting those increased rain chances, but we have to keep in mind there is also a low and severe threat as well, but mainly worried about these large, big, bulky systems like you guys see right here. That's what we're worried about in terms of flooding. So if one of these stalls out over a particularly flood-prone area, that's why we have that level 1 flood threat thrown out for tomorrow and even into parts of Thursday as well. So David, if you're ready, I can dump back over to you. Otherwise, we can keep going. I can talk national weather all night. But, all right, here we go. All right, I'll throw it back on over now to David.
And as you all have heard me in the past before talk about how I don't really want to do much national weather, tonight's the night where I'm like in the mood to do national. So potentially in the future, we may have these eventual occasions where we do national, and it could be very similar to what we're doing right now. So hey, wall-to-wall coverage, covering the storms and giving you guys the latest synopsis with everything. Now let's talk tropics. We got a Cat 2 hurricane out there right now still in the Atlantic. I know if y'all took a break listening from this system maybe a few days ago, you're like, okay, they were saying this would become a Cat 4 somewhere around where it's showing right now. Well, this storm has just been all over the place with things. So again, right now it's a Cat 2 hurricane. Let's see here. So this is 104 miles per hour. So this storm is actually weakening tremendously compared to what we had several hours ago. But far furthers towards the coast, towards like North Carolina, Virginia, and even South Carolina, some impacts will occur with some feeder bands. So we're watching that closely. And then no impacts, at least direct impacts to the United States is anticipated right now. But this will curve out towards North Atlantic Ocean, become a Cat 2 to a Cat 1, then eventually a tropical storm. So mainly looks like this will be a fish storm, thankfully. But again, this is pretty much the bulk with what we're watching right now. But we are going with a code orange. Anyone that's just near the islands to south of Bermuda, there could be another named system getting going. We will see. But as of now, I don't think that will have any troubles to the United States. But all the way back out towards the southeast, a 10-20% chance of something tropical getting going off the coast of Africa. Question is if this area, disturbed weather, can stay further to the south. If it can, like I'm talking, if it stays south of the islands and south of Cuba, and goes northeast, we could have a situation towards the Gulf. There's always that risk and possibility during the later parts of the summer and even in the months of September and end of August. So we'll watch that. But again, there's also a good curve out towards the northeast, a little bit early ahead of the islands, like most of these systems are doing. So again, guys, that's the tropics update with what we're watching for you guys this evening. Do we want to talk about, so I just received a kind of an interesting breaking news detail here. Just to let anyone know here, we've got some breaking news. There's a shooter threat right now at the Texas Capitol right now. People are being evacuated right now, so obviously we don't cover news or anything like that, but if anyone that watches here in Texas or Austin, obviously, we just received some breaking news right now, kind of serious breaking news, really, that an active shooter, a shooter threat is in the area. So we'll watch that closely, and of course, stay tuned to like the local TV stations and the latest actual news departments for the latest information. So again, just updates since we do cover Austin prior and downtown and everything. Again, the Capitol, people are being evacuated right now as a shooter threat has been put in place. So again, hopefully there's no shooter, but again, if there is, I will know right away and get a lot of notifications, and if that's the case, we'll pass that along to you. But as long as we're live we should be live for the next couple of minutes or so, and if we get any updates, I will pass that along throughout our broadcast. But anyways, That's the breaking news out there right now at the Capitol. All right, back to weather right now. Some showers still holding on in Blanco and even far eastern Gillespie. And look at that in Llano County. Some light showers right now as well. Some light precipitation just north of Austin, around Round Rock right now. Even in western Travis County right now, some light showers. Looking at some cameras earlier, most of the cameras were actually showing this precipitation falling 15 minutes ago. So we'll continue to consider this as actual precipitation. New update today, the National Weather Service earlier this morning, I think, or early afternoon, they've actually decided to issue Milam County under a heat advisory for today. And then they're actually going to be issuing another one for tomorrow. So yeah, there's a heat advisory in effect for Milam County until 7 p.m. tomorrow. So one county in our viewing area is under a weather alert this evening. So yeah, that is what we're watching right now. And speaking of heat advisories, much more heat advisories towards Bell County, Killeen, and in Waco, Dallas, McKinney under heat alerts, and then extreme heat warnings out towards Shreveport for our friends in Louisiana. So again, guys, that is what we're watching right now across the area. If we went live maybe 30 minutes ago, we would probably, well, maybe like an hour ago, we would have been popping off, I think, with wall-to-wall coverage and live coverage of everything. But hey, at least things are calming down. It's wonderful news. A few little leftover showers, but if anyone's tuning in and you may be asking, okay, so is there a risk for storms tonight? Are we in the clear? Yes, we are in the clear. No more storms are anticipated to occur tonight. But what does the forecast look for like for tomorrow? It's pretty much a copy and paste of what we had today. Copy today's weather, paste it into tomorrow. It's all I had to do. It's very similar, except the rain precipitation chance is a smidge higher in coverage than what it was today. Today's rain coverage was actually earlier this morning and early afternoon, mainly east of I-35, only clipping Lee and Fayette counties, and I believe portions of Gonzales County was also included. And then some of those outflows came out to the west and sparked storms west of I-35 earlier this afternoon, and creating a training effect of storms from Burnett to Marble Falls around 3 o'clock to 2 o'clock this afternoon, and storms in Llano. And then we had another surge of storms that happens just around the I-35 corridor and areas out towards the hill country. So we actually have 2 rounds of storms in our forecast. And I'm going to point this out. Not a single computer model showed that we would have 2 rounds of storms. So as I always say this, in the summertime, it is always really hard to predict who will see storm, exactly where will the storm set up at. But I did mention this, and I was agreeing with the National Weather Service. I said west of I-35, there will be the greater risk for a storm chance. We did mention it on stream yesterday when we were showing you the rain probability chances from the NWS. So once again, guys, that's what we're watching right now. And also, there is an outflow boundary. You're probably asking, what is this like green line? That's an outflow boundary. So we got some strong winds coming out from storms from earlier. When we had those shelf clouds in our area and tons of storms, and now we're just left with this area of wind. And there's probably, it wouldn't surprise me if there was maybe a shelf cloud still occurring. We do have a few other cameras. I know San Marcos has a camera at the college campus. There's also a camera in Kyle. We don't have those personally set up yet, but Bryce, if you want to find those, if you have time, if you can, maybe we can show those cameras and maybe get eyes on that shelf cloud if it's still existence. But overall, the wind is, however, there's strong winds that are showing very well still on radar. Hey, Chris, welcome to the broadcast. And let's go velocity mode here. Let's see if our radars or our velocity is estimating the winds. And yeah, you can actually see that little green line right there. That's an indication right there that there is some winds roughly around 5 to 15 miles per hour. And when I was outside moments ago, I actually caught the winds gusting up to 20 to 30 miles per hour. I actually streamed it live on Twitter not too long ago. So again, that's the velocity. And now here's the radar where, again, guys, that outflow boundary heads up Wimberley. Y'all are going to see some stronger winds here soon. Also, if you're in Buda, hey, downtown Austin is potentially getting impacted right now with this outflow boundary. So if we can actually get a live camera in downtown Austin, showing. We probably can't get a good view of like the wind because the camera is so zoomed out, but the outflow should be coming through downtown right now, unless the outflow is not made it. Actually, I think the outflow either just went through town or is going through town right now. We're not seeing any type of shelf cloud or anything from this live shot, so that's good news to see. Can we get our South Austin camera to work if that wants to work this evening? Okay, so we'll potentially get that South Austin cam going for you on that South Austin cam. So South Austin, just want to point this out, we'll see this outflow boundary, which y'all can't see the radar, but South Austin will see this here very, very soon. So again, this outflow boundary that's through portions of the area are roughly creating wind speeds and gusts up to 5 to 15 miles per hour. Nothing too crazy, but if you have anything that can get blown around a little bit easy, just hold on to that for a couple of minutes, like 20-30 minutes, and then probably for the rest of the evening after 8 p.m. I think we're in the clear from any type of weather danger in our area. So again, guys, the weather across central Texas is quieting down, which is wonderful news. A lot of us are probably like, okay, we had storms, do we have more storm chances? Yeah, no, we are done for tonight across our area. So that's some good news, as a lot of y'all were wanting no rain. But we did get some rain, and it did cool the temperatures down, which was very nice. All right, awesome. Thank you. And again, when I recorded that video of the wall cloud, or shelf cloud, excuse me, when I went through Marble Falls, it was very windy. Very, very windy. It was incredible to get a shot like that, and seeing something like that today in the middle of August was something that I would have expected to see at all. So very phenomenal for sure. And by the way, guys, we are starting to get closer to the rainiest month of the year, and I believe that's October, so we're just 2 months away just about. So here's South Austin. Skies are very gray. There is an interesting look here. It looks like a line of clouds. It's very hard to pinpoint this here, but I see a gray line of clouds, and that might be what we were showing on radar moments ago. So this is obviously interesting. And if we can actually go back to our radar, and you see where that gray line is at on that camera, South Austin's right over here, and that line, that outflow is right here. So it is kind of matching up. So that's what we're seeing right now. And you may be asking, maybe thinking, hey, you see this area here? Is this rain? No, it's not. It is bats that are appearing and ground clutter. That's what we're seeing right now on the radar shots. So again, precipitation, Johnson City area, precipitation should be going away right now. Out in Llano County, precipitation is also very light. And potentially some of the shower activity out in Blanco County is probably getting interfered right now with some bats potentially. So that's gonna be, it's kind of questionable if, hey, is the storm trying to come back, because I'm starting to see some yellow popping back up. So there's probably some bats interfering, but that's about it right now. And then just some light shower activity is mentioned just southeast of Llano. And again, some showers out there in Travis County and even far southern Williamson County. So that's what we're watching right now. But again, nothing too chaotic, nothing bad, just some good old showers that are occurring through the neck of the woods this evening. So yeah, and conditions out there in San Marcos, as this alpha boundary gets closer and closer to y'all, things are looking A-okay right now. But again, if you're in Wimberley, if you're just near Buda, that's where the outflow and gustier wind is coming your guys' way. So again, this is Broadway Road in San Marcos, Chicken Express, great chicken there. But again, traffic flowing through and conditions out there are looking favorably nice out there this evening. So that's what we got for right now on the radar. Again, guys, the outflow is getting closer and closer to Kyle and eventually San Marcos here, and it just a little bit. Let's see, any like crazy, like severe weather or strong storm alerts across the Lone Star State? Nada. There's nothing right now in our area or across the Lone Star State, but there is a severe thunderstorm warning just right around the borderline dividing Texas and Oklahoma. So That's about it. And then, of course, in orange, those are heat advisories. That little gray color you see in Houston and parts of Dallas, DFW, that is an air quality alert, as air quality concerns are pretty poor. And that pink is a heat warning for portions of Texarkana, Shreveport, and Monroe. By the way, I am working. I'm still trying to work on getting an affiliate to be part of Storm in the Texarkana area. So just a heads up if anyone's saying. Just wondering if we're going to get more affiliates in the future. Yeah, Texarkana might become one in the future. So, hey, just heads up, guys, if y'all are curious about that. But yeah, that is what we are tracking right now. And there's San Antonio. Great shutout there. Looks like for once the camera's actually in a different position. That's nice to see. But hey, very, very noisy out there. Hey, Brett, you want to take over real quick here and then another radar update. Yeah, tons of y'all are messaging me on socials, so of course, when I take that miniature break, I let Bryce take over for a second, and then when it's ready for me to come back, I return. So that's what we do. So now I'm going to go ahead and throw things over to Bryce. He's going to go ahead and give you guys some more updates on the radar, more energized than I am, but we'll go ahead and go to him.
Yeah, David, I'll be honest, I don't know how you do this for so long. I mean, I just did, maybe 2 minutes in front of the radar, and I was just, like, exhausted. I had to sit down for, like, 20 minutes. I mean, like, dude, you're crushing it right now, honestly. Go enjoy that well-earned break. He's already sitting down, guys. I mean, take a look at David's camera right now. He's already sitting down. He's like, I'm done. he's like, I'm done. Yeah. So there you go. You guys get to see a little bit of behind the scenes here at Storm, and that's what we love. We love to do. But let's take a look real quick at that severe thunderstorm warning. If we can get a good look at it, that David was just talking about out near. Ooh, it's gonna be tough to get a decent. This is kind of one of those radar holes, but this one might be the best shot, and it's blurry as heck. But here's the severe thunderstorm warning for quarter-sized hail. I mentioned that right at the top of my broadcast earlier. Let's see if we can maybe get a hail track on it. I would doubt the accuracy of this just because it's so far away. Probably picking up the very top of the hail core at best, but yeah, definitely some indications there of quarter-sized hail on the hail track. Now, I'm more concerned real quickly here about this Fayetteville, Arkansas storm for anyone up in that area. Just because this is a much more populated area here. We do have 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, nickel-sized hail there. Let's see if we can throw a hail track real quickly on that. And there are some pockets, maybe a little bit of a pocket of hail over near Centerton, Arkansas. But overall, everything on the more severe side of things seems to be staying to and there's the latest scan right there, updated in real time. Everything seems to be staying off to the west of Interstate 49 there, which is pretty good. So it's nice to see that. And this definitely seems to have weakened from scan to scan. So here's the last few scans on that. It's definitely moving very slow, though, so I'd be more worried about flood threat in that area as well. Maybe not so much as, like, if this were in Texas, but I'd still be pretty worried about that. All right, meanwhile, just a bunch of strong storm advisories now, including some of these that we just talked about over in Oklahoma. So I'll take a quick look at these, but here is the storm near Chickasaw. Check out that outflow boundary. Wow! I bet if we take a look here at velocity, that is there you can see almost a burst on the velocity there. I'll go ahead and draw this out for you guys here. Check that out. Nice strong winds associated with this system here, and these are the storms that are more associated with our very slow moving cold front that we were kind of talking about this morning on the afternoon, or I should say this afternoon on the afternoon forecast. And that is honestly, that's one of the more impressive outflow boundaries that I've seen today. And then real quickly here, I'm kind of surprised this one doesn't have a severe thunderstorm warning, but obviously it's not producing what the radar is showing here. Let's take a look real quick at the hail tracker, and not much popping up here. Let's maybe switch radar sites real quick, and it's that one is down apparently. So Yeah, not much being shown there on radar, and it's not too impressive when we take a look at the level 3 scan, so not too worried about that. And then this special weather statement down here is looks like it's being allowed to expire. So just that one storm near Fayetteville that I'm more concerned about right now. But we can go ahead and toss it back on over now to David with whatever he's got. Maybe he's got some North Texas weather for us. We'll go ahead and find out. All right, David, it's all you.
All right, hey guys, David here, Four States area. Y'all are gonna see a familiar face here next weekend, actually, because I'm actually headed up here next weekend, just for the weekend, unfortunately. But I'll be over here. But Benton County, we actually cover Benton County when I used to cover a very large area of the Joplin, Missouri area, and in the, again, the Four States area. But severe thunderstorm warning that we're tracking in Benton County, just south of Bentonville, Arkansas right now. Severe warning, just barely severe. It's low grade actually for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and hail at penny size. The radar indicated with another alert. But again, next weekend I will not be here. I will be in a whole different state, county, city, and same time zone. So yeah, that's where I'll be at next weekend, just to clarify that. And this weekend I will not be here. I'll be at my lake house. So that's how it's going to be next couple weekends. I'm going to be kind of busy with things. But of course, if anything like crazy weather-wise happens, that's probably where I will push plans on the weekends and be here. But again, things will be a bit tricky. So we'll see how things go. But at least this weekend, no crazy weather is anticipated at this time. But tomorrow, and as we get into Thursday, that's where we could see some things in the weather in our area. I lost my thoughts disappeared there. Sorry. So right now, some light showers more than likely happening on the west side of Austin right now, just northwestern Travis County and in Blanco County. Got some light showers out there on the west side of the county, and that is about it right now with what's happening in our neck of the woods. Hey, Bryce, if you can take over here in just a second. It's going to be it's going to be like a minute or two. But once again, guys, that's what we're doing with our area. You notice last night we talked to y'all, a heat advisory was not going to get reissued for today. And the National Weather Service and FW actually reissued it. So Milam County has been reissued into a heat advisory. Also, this alert will expire at 7 p.m. tomorrow for the Cameron Rockdale area for heat indices likely in the triple digits. Quick update on radar in our southern counties. They are relatively quiet. This is just some bats right here, so nothing too chaotic. And then an alpha boundary just coming in the Kyle right now, or here in here in about 5 or 10 minutes, an alpha boundary will come through Kyle. Probably in about 20 minutes, San Marcos, you'll see some gustier winds, or notice that the winds have increased just a little bit. But overall, the crazy shots of like wall clouds and stuff like that, that should start to be winding down right now, if not totally gone. But again, guys, that is pretty much it with everything right now. So, yeah, that's what's happening here in South Central Texas. Reporting live in one of our studios, Chief Forecaster David, and we're going to go ahead and jump things over to Bryce as I take another quick miniature break. I got to do something real quick, and then I'll come back here probably around 7:50 or 7:52, somewhere in there. But I'll be back very shortly. So, Bryce, back to you.
All right, thank you, David. Oops, accidentally keyed you on top of the transition there. That was not supposed to happen. I didn't have much time to prepare this next segment, so we're just going to do it live and hope for the best here. But I wanted to pull up real quick here our future radar for tomorrow, just so we can kind of get an idea of what to expect here in the Austin area. So we're dry all the way up through 11 a.m. into noon here, but you guys see that shower development start to pick up at around 1 p.m. As we keep going in through the rest of the day here, those showers start to become much more widespread across the Austin area here and across our Storm Austin area, which I went ahead and turned on the highlighter here in white. It's missing Kerr County. Sorry about that, Kerr County. I'll get you guys added in on this graphic at some point. Just need to figure out how to edit that again here. But as you guys can see here, 4 p.m., again, we could be talking about some heavy. I wouldn't be too focused on locations, especially with this model. We're mainly looking for trends here. So from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., that's when we seem to have the bulk, even into 5 p.m., into rush hour, seems to have a lot of showers concentrated on that I-35 corridor there into 6 p.m. here. So yeah, I wouldn't be too concerned about particular locations. We're just kind of monitoring for potential trends here across the area. But I do want to make sure that we kind of stay on guard here throughout the day here, as this could be a particularly interesting one in terms of rainfall amounts. Let's see if we can plot out some rainfall amounts for you guys real quick here across the Austin area. Again, I wouldn't be too focused on particular locations, just because it's going to be one of those instances where most of us see some amount of rain. The question is just how much rain. But if we go ahead and put down maybe up to 1 inch of rain possible in some spots, that seems to be the model trend. But overall, seems like a good chunk of the Storm Austin viewing area, parts of San Antonio as well, we'll see some heavy rainfall. It's just a question of where is the rain going to be and how much. So definitely, if you want to make sure if you're out and about tomorrow, make sure you have a umbrella ready to go just in case here, because that is what we are monitoring. We are talking about the possibility of some potential rainfall. I've got you, David, in my ears, just letting him know about that. And all right, no worries. Yeah, so that's a future radar. That's your future rainfall amounts here. Now, real quick here, we're gonna go ahead and swap some things over real quick here, back over to our live radar if we can. Let's actually real quick here, I want to make sure you guys know about the let's take that off the screen real quick. I want to make sure you guys are aware about the potential for flooding tomorrow, because I do want to emphasize that quite a bit. It is Texas in the summer. The ground is going to be dry. There's definitely the potential here for flooding. So as we take a look here at our forecast graphics, excessive rainfall outlook, we can turn that on here. This was for today. Let's focus on tomorrow. All of the viewing area under a level 1 risk for flooding, and even the same story on Thursday as well. So want to make sure we are at least flood aware over the next few days here, as we could be talking about the potential for some isolated flash flooding wherever we see that heaviest rainfall amounts. Real quick here, quick update here on your 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. Looks like we're going to be trending mostly warm over the next week. Overall, not too bad. I will take a little warm over a lot warm. And then your precipitation outlook looking like a little bit wetter than normal, which is a good sign, honestly. We like to see that here in Texas in August. So that's a look at your climate outlooks. Let's go ahead and flip back on over here. You see that rainfall across half of Travis County, parts of Blanco County as well, and even upwards and near Burnett, Marble Falls. If we go statewide here real quick here, you guys can get the big picture here. We were tracking some storms earlier. Unfortunately, we couldn't get live right when they were happening. I just happened to be out. I tried to get home as quickly as possible, but just happened to miss that. David did catch a real thick wall cloud we showed earlier on the stream, so definitely want to make sure you guys take a peek at that if you get a chance. It's over on his X page, or also you can just back up the live stream as well, which is pretty cool. Other than that, I mean, there's lots of rain across the central United States, which is pretty cool to see, especially in the summer. It's normally dry and hot here. We do have this one severe thunderstorm warning near Fayetteville, Arkansas, just south of Bentonville. This is going to be for the next 10 minutes or so. We're talking about nickel-sized hail, and 60 mile per hour. I know, nickel-sized hair, that's crazy. David here is absolutely loving it in the back channels right now that I just said hair. Now I can't even distinguish the two, guys. That may mean it's time for me to wrap up and send it back over to David, but he just got a nice Dr. Pepper, so that's great. Yeah, no, I'm really liking the rain that we're seeing today. It's real nice, and not too severe, but tomorrow I do want to emphasize that we need to at least be severe aware. I mean, we can take a look at the categorical outlook for tomorrow. There's probably not much here. Yeah, just a general thunderstorm risk. And that's typically how it is in August. We're not talking about massive hailstorms, massive tornadoes. Maybe some gusty winds. As the storm begins to expand or something like that. But overall, mainly just want to be on the out. We just want to be flood aware. If any of these stall out, anything like that, that can definitely be concerning. Luckily, we haven't seen that too much. We did have a low-end flood risk. What was that, Monday morning, David? No, Sunday morning. Yeah, Sunday morning for areas like Kerr County and Bandera. And we were definitely very concerned about that, but luckily, as those storms rolled through, they died off much sooner than some of the models were maybe thinking, and that was definitely very good news indeed, because we definitely don't want more flooding out there. So, good news overall, I would say. David, I guess I will throw it back over to you if you're ready. I'm taking a quick snack break too, so I really don't blame you. All right, thanks, David. All right, we'll toss it back on over to him.
All right, so we are back. Sorry about that, guys. I said I'd come back at between 47 and 51, but it took a little bit longer. Got me some nice chocolate pie and Dr. Pepper that we bought a week ago. It's like a 2-liter thing or something, but hey, it is helping me run, and we're still continuing the stream. Of course, if you guys got questions, comments, concerns, want to say hi or anything like that, feel free to comment down below. If you guys want us to check out a location, weather-wise, anywhere in the United States, feel free to do that. But I want to go and show this new option. Weather-wise has released an update today. This is where we can view actual temperatures right now across really anywhere. But we'll just do North America. We can also take a look at the dew point, the wind direction, and wind speed. But if we take a look at these numbers out there right now, look at this. It is 75 right now in Burnett, and it compares that to Atlanta at 79. 75 in Kerr County, 73 in Bernie. It's an 85 at Camp Mabry, 92 at the airport. And then, yeah, it's in the 80s and 90s right now in the coastal plains. So you can pretty much tell already, like, where the exact areas have seen some cloud cover all afternoon long and storms compared to areas east of I-35 where there's been much of anything, except for earlier this afternoon and this later morning where we actually had some activity. But now things are just quiet, pretty much the entire viewing area almost. So that's what we're dealing with right now across our neck of the woods. So that's temperatures, that's everything. Right now, I got a cool new feature that WeatherWise has released for today. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the radar. We're dealing with some light precipitation on the west side of Austin right now, just near Bee Cave. Actually, we have a Bee Cave camera, so if we want to get that camera going to verify if this is actual showers or not, that'd be awesome. And there's some potential light showers out there in western Blanco County and far eastern Gillespie County and far northeastern Bandera, or Kendall County, excuse me. That's where we're watching things right now. But again, that's pretty much it. Just some 2 little areas of light showers potentially if it's falling, and yeah, that's about it. Heat advisory, Milam County until 7 p.m. tomorrow. Again, that is about it. Yeah, that's about it. Oh my gosh, look at that beautiful sunset out there in Liberty Hill, Texas. You got the dark clouds and you just got the sun setting. That's impressive. Bee Cave, Texas, you can kind of see the sunset in the distance, but if you're underneath those clouds, or excuse me, if you're underneath that area where it shows green, hey guys, behind the scene of Breast there. Wait, I am noticing something. There's kind of a line of clouds right here. So we potentially, maybe a miniature shelf cloud, maybe. I don't know. It's really very hard to print this. There could be, if anyone's out there in Liberty Hill or in Williamson or Travis or Burnett or Blanco counties, If there's a shelf cloud, let me know. I'm kind of optimistic if there is one or not. Curious what our Lake Travis camera looks like. If we can get that working. But Bee Cave, Texas, where there is supposedly rain right now on radar. It is just thick cloud cover and a beautiful sunset. And temperatures are really nice in Bee Cave. You guys are in Bee Cave right now. You better be enjoying this. It rained earlier. Things are nice and kind of cool, maybe a little humid, but it's overcast. Beautiful sunset. It's nice out there. By the way, this is like my favorite type of weather, except for the humidity. Humidity, no. And if it was like 5 degrees cooler, that's my kind of weather. Everything else, no. Here's a very gorgeous shot of a sunset. There's the sun here in Lake Way in the Lake Travis area. That's Lake Travis right there, by the way. And that's just a phenomenal shot that we're seeing out there. Supposedly, Lake Travis is also seeing rain right now, and it doesn't look like it's raining. So, yeah, it is just cloud cover is what we are picking up on radar. And that's probably some moisture that's being picked up on radar, but all that precipitation that's attempting to fall from these clouds, it just evaporates as soon as it hits the ground. That's probably what's more than likely happening right now. Again, as we go back to radar, is showing in sections of western Travis County right now. And then again in portions of Fredericksburg, east of Fredericksburg, and portions of Blanco County. That's a little bit optimistic because I'm curious. This might be actual downpours or not. I don't know. This was the area where we actually had storms earlier, and that created the nice shelf cloud and everything. So this might be actually light precipitation, but back here, obviously this is not. And this is actually showing some little bit of yellow, so I have a little bit more confidence of actually something coming from this little area, but there's probably not a whole lot coming out of it, if any, right now. So, once again, guys, that is about it. All right. So, yeah, that is, again, that's about it with what we're tracking across our area. It's 8 p.m. pretty much now, almost. So, we've been live for about, an hour now, maybe? So, hey, not a bad updates that we have provided y'all this evening. For our friends in Abilene, we're tracking a strong storm alert just north of Abilene. Looks like a pretty good isolated cell has blossoms. A storm producing 40-mile-per-hour winds. This is going to be in the Taylor and Jones County areas of 8:15. So it's barely a strong storm alert. But that is about it with what we're monitoring this evening. Out towards West Texas, where we have some storms. Big Lake seeing some storms. Midland, Odessa, some storms in the vicinity. Temperatures also in the 80s and 90s, so not too bad out there right now out in the Great West. So, yeah, that's about it. But again, Abilene, pretty much the only area, or really just north of Abilene, that's where we're just seeing some impacts of weather in the Lone Star State, with it actually containing a weather alert with a storm. All right, so that's what I got for right now. We're going to go jump over to Bryce, as he's going to provide you guys some new information and updates and details. We just entered a new hour. It's 8 p.m. Bryce?
All right, thanks, David. Real quick, I just wanted to make you guys aware really quick. David was talking about how much cooler it is outside. I wanted to actually quantify it just a little bit. So I went back over to the weather computer here, and I want to show you guys 24-hour temperature difference across the area. And check this out, David. That is cool. You know what? I was muted, David. I'm so sorry. I don't know how long I've been muted for, but somehow I accidentally muted myself. Anyways, I was just showing you guys 24-hour temperature difference. It's fine. We're working through some stuff. Thank you, everyone, for pulling through here. But yeah, I'll go ahead and rerun that a little bit just because I don't know how long I was muted for. But real quick here, I'll go ahead and show you guys what we were talking about here. 24-hour temperature difference. That's what we were focused on. I am all over the place all of a sudden. So here's that 24-hour temperature difference. I was just talking about how much cooler it is across the viewing area here. Check this out. Northern Travis County, 18 degrees cooler than we were yesterday. Out in Bernie, 15 degrees. Same story out in Fredericksburg. Even parts of the metro area, we're looking at 6-7 degrees cooler so seeing lots of relief across the Austin metro area. But overall, really happy with this. This is what that change in humidity is helping to rein in those temperatures here, those showers and storms, cooling us down. Here is the humidity, though, because it is hot and humid, like we've been talking about here. You can see the dew point difference from 24 hours ago to now, and red is going to be more humid, and that's exactly what we're seeing all across the Austin area. Lots of humidity associated with these storms. So I'll go ahead and dump it back on over now to David, who's got the latest on your Burnett, Texas forecast. Looks like he's got the website pulled up too, which is really cool to see that. So let's go ahead and dump it on over to him.
Yeah. It's pretty nice to actually show something that we own. There it is, Storm website, stormtv.net. Check it out. It's free. Stormtv.net, all lowercase, all together. It's free to check out today. And you get the current weather conditions no matter where you are at in the United States. Right now in Burnett, 75, clear skies. Sunset in about less than 10 minutes from now. It feels like 77, so it feels like double sevens, but the current temperature is 75. It's kind of humid out there, just about 2 degrees. But it's good because we actually had 2 rounds of storms that went through the Burnett area today. So it's a little humid, but not terribly bad. It could be worse. If it was like middle of the afternoon, oh boy, you'd be sweating like a dog out there. But it's not super humid, but it is quite humid. I mean, actually, I was just looking at the feels like temperature. I'm like, okay, it's not that humid, but when you look at the humidity, it's nearly 90%. So it is very humid out there. But the feels like must not be that bad, apparently. If you go out there, you're probably sweating right away. Wind speeds are relatively light, so not much of a relief out there. UV index, obviously, not a thing right now. Pressure is right around 30. Dew point 72, so it is a bit gross out there right now. Here's your Wednesday forecast in Burnett. Thunderstorms are possible for your tomorrow and into the evening hours. And then the storm chances do continue in the forecast ahead. I am seeing signs of a interesting pattern change, not just in central Texas, but across the nation. First off, before we talk more about that, our temperatures the last couple of weeks have been relatively in the mid to upper 90s and triple digits for some. But if you look at our forecast in Burnett, the temperatures are actually going to be either quite consistent or 1 degree cooler almost every single day in the next 7. You can see a high at 92 next Tuesday with a very small 20% rain chance. So kind of interesting how we're starting to notice and see temperature just being consistent in the mid to low 90s. Right now it's mid to upper 90s, but I think we'll start to head to a different level where we're going to be in the mid to low 90s, and probably the first or second week of September, I think we're going to be in the lower 90s and maybe even upper 80s for highs. And this is kind of a sign. Fall is right around the corner. And even some parts of the United States already seeing fall in Alaska. There's some portions of the states have been highlighted in orange, which means, hey, yeah, there's signs of fall occurring. Also same in Canada. So, hey, fall is just right around the corner. And it's coming a little bit early for some areas, but weather-wise here in central Texas, temperatures, obviously, this is not fall-like. This is more like late spring and summer temperatures. But, hey, here soon, we're going to be in a kind of a spring temperature weather pattern for at least a couple weeks, and then eventually we'll transition to fall. I know spring was a couple months ago, but obviously when we transition from summer to fall, we kind of are in a very small period where it's like springtime kind of for a little bit, and then it's right into fall, and then it's right into winter. So that's what I'm seeing here, at least in the future. At least in the next couple of weeks or so. When I did 4 states weather in the past, which we were touching up on that earlier, I used to do these like several month forecast outlooks, and relatively those were accurate that I've done in the past. As of right now, I don't plan to do like forecasts for like the whole outlook for the season. Maybe that will change, but since I've actually lived in the Austin area and kind of am now used to how everything works, we might potentially start doing a seasonal outlook forecast. But as of now, for at least the month of fall, uh, we won't have one. But again, maybe in September we'll create one. But as of now, we'll see. But anyways, moral of the story is I am going to see a slow decline in our temperature highs in our forecast, or they're pretty consistent. And if that doesn't want to, like, hey, that's for Burnett, that's the Hill Country. What about Austin, Texas? Well, Austin is also kind of showing a very similar story, just a little bit. Obviously, triple digits potentially tomorrow, but the 90s and eventually to the mid 90s by early parts of next week. So again, maybe some signs of fall. We'll see. For our friends out towards like Chicago and Kansas next week to next weekend, and potentially the weeks after that, maybe at least in the next week to 2 weeks, cooler than average temperatures significantly for many areas. And if you don't believe me, let's go to Chicago. Let's take a look at that forecast for y'all in Chicago. And if you look at Chicago weather, yeah, their weather is a lot nicer compared to ours, obviously. And obviously, they will see fall before we will. But I remember looking at Chicago area weather. They had temperatures in the 90s and triple digits. Now they're talking about 70s and maybe 80s for highs. And overnight lows, that's impressive. So, again, signs of fall across the United States are starting to appear, at least temperature-wise, and weather systems and weather setup-wise. And obviously, as the tropics get more active and everything, it's also a greater and another sign that, hey, yeah, we may actually start to see some, we'll get some changes here to the weather pattern eventually. All right, so radar right now across the area, some clouds popping up across this where you see green. That's where there's clouds. No actual precipitation is falling. Look at this. We got bats that are flying right now in Round Rock right now. That's not rain. That is just bats flying. So it's incredible how we can see something like that on radar. In San Antonio, some bats flying through. Search some bats. That's pretty much what we're seeing. If you're in Kyle, this alpha boundary that we've been talking about for more than an hour now is now pushing through, and that is about it. Very slow moving, obviously. Yeah. So again, guys, that's what we're watching. As much West Texas, we got some storms out there, but here soon the storms will slowly wind down. And then out towards like Abilene, there's that one storm still that's a little bit strong, which expires here in 4 minutes, but again, guys, that is about it with what we're tracking. Tracking some stronger storms in North Texas now, just west of McKinney, just near Denton. We got a strong storm advisory right now for gusty winds up to 50 miles per hour. So just to the north of Flowermont and the city of Denton, you guys are included in this weather alert. So looks like a new little downpour popping up near McKinney. But again, guys, that is about it with what we're tracking across the state of Texas, weather alert-wise. And of course, some isolated severe weather out in Oklahoma with some pop-up storms. But again, guys, that is, again, about it with what we're tracking. So coming up here in just a quick moment, I'm going to talk about tomorrow's flood risk. And we'll also talk about your Thursday flood risks. We'll go in depth about what that could look like here in just a second. So Bryce, if you want to take over real quick so I can like take a 1 second to pause and think, and once I get that going, we'll talk about your flood threat here for tomorrow and Thursday. So give me 1 second, guys. And that's what we'll do. So actually what we'll do is we're going to take a miniature break. So we'll be right back, and we will be back for about we'll be gone for about 1 to 4 minutes. And then once we're back, we'll deliver the flood risk threats for our viewing area. So, in studio, Chief Forecaster David Alford. We'll be right back. It's 8:13. Welcome back over to the Storm TV Network channel. You're watching Storm HQ. I'm Chief Forecaster David Alford. Here's a video that I filmed earlier in South Marble Falls. Look at the shelf clouds. See those like white clouds that are popping up in that like line? That's a shelf cloud. And of course, right before it is the anvil clouds that are popping out ahead of the shelf cloud. And then once you go past the shelf cloud, more into the storm, that's where there's an actual storm that is occurring. And that's where we actually had things earlier this evening. So again, things are relatively getting quieter now across the area. Active radar, some green on there, but nothing is falling from the sky. All right, radar, again, that's it. Nothing else. All right, taking a look at your flood risk tomorrow. We have a level 1 out of 4 marginal risk for the entire storm viewing area. All of our 19 counties under a flood risk. So we'll watch that closely. And there's also another low in flood risk for the entire viewing area on our Thursday too. So we will watch things closely here throughout the next couple days. All right. So as we wrap things up now on the air, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's tuned in tonight. We appreciate y'all so much, obviously, for being here on the network. Again, Bryce made an appearance a few times, so shout out to producer Bryce coming on the air and do some updates, even doing some green screen coverage. That's awesome. Potentially in the future, you might do TV coverage, or like using your TV in the background coverage, right? So yeah, stay tuned for that, guys. All right, so now let's talk. We're just chit-chatting, weather pause. There's nothing to talk about anymore. So if y'all have anything you want to talk about, want to say, y'all can do so. But we're going to be on the air at least for another 2 or 3 more minutes, and then we will call it a night. So again, just to clarify, we are officially storm. We're going to continue to be storm. Of course, if y'all were here a few weeks ago, we were impulse weather, but now we're officially storm. Never miss a storm with us here. And of course, turn on notifications so you do never miss a storm. All right, so I got school tomorrow. Obviously, it's weekdays, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 3:40. I don't get home to about 5 o'clock-ish. So Bryce will be manning the ship tomorrow, manning the radar and the potential stream. So y'all will want to stay tuned for if any updates do occur. What else? Yeah, so he'll be here tomorrow in the afternoon to watch things, between 12 and 6 p.m. potentially. So between 12 and 6 p.m. If anything gets crazy, anything gets going, Bryce will be here. I'd assume we'll probably go live if there's like strong storms or a severe weather alert, maybe even a flood advisory. But if it's just good old storms, there's really no need to go live. But if anything gets out of the hand, he will go live. And then he actually has somewhere to go tomorrow night. So there will not be a night stream tomorrow unless when he has to go and if there's like crazy weather that's occurring, I may have to do my own separate stream and we'll cover stuff. But as mentioned, beginning of the broadcast, I said next couple streams today and tonight and going to tomorrow and Thursday, the content of us doing the regular forecast in evenings will not be a thing. It's going to be these live back-to-back wall-to-wall radar coverage updates focusing in Central Texas to the Lone Star States. Just to clarify that some more. So, again, that's pretty much what we have and what we're tracking for now. Of course, earlier in our show, we gave you some breaking news of evacuations underway at the Texas Capitol. We just got some new information here. So the Texas Capitol evacuated after report of a threat as protesters gathering support. So there's protesting underway. So that's why. So good news that the threat has ended. But people were protesting, and I guess someone just did something not good. So at least they got that handled, and that's good. So, yep. That's what we're tracking in the Austin area. All right, so before we go, Bryce is going to make one more appearance, and this is going to be my final appearance as well for tonight. So, Bryce, start to you.
Thanks, David. Real quick, I did want to quickly point out something that we've got going on the Storm TV website that I think is really cool here. So let me full screen this because I forgot to. And I'll go ahead and show you guys. We got the Muggy meter is coming very soon to the Storm TV website. Actually, this should be coming out hopefully tomorrow, I think. But we've added the Muggy meter, so you guys see the dew point all the time, but you might not know what exactly that means. So we've actually added it here, so you can see right now in Austin, dew point right now is uncomfortable. Not too bad, but definitely, it feels oppressive when in heat. And I can't show it off to you guys right now because it is after sunset, but we also have added UV index information as well. So you might be like, what the heck is the UV index? What does the 10 out of 11 mean? What does an 11 mean? How quickly am I maybe going to get sunburnt? That's coming very soon to the Storm website as well, so hopefully this update will get pushed out in the near future, and you guys can get all that information. Now, of course, like the sunburn estimates are going to be like for someone with like a fair skin, because we had to call it somewhere, but obviously your mileage may vary on that, but you can at least get an idea of what kind of precautions you should be taking if you're out in the sun, which is pretty cool. So 2 neat little updates to the Storm website coming very soon. And also, if we talk tropics real quick, I'll show you all one more update that we do have coming soon to the tropics page, and you guys can already see it here. We've added the formation, the tropical formation outlook as well. I'm not sure why it's saying category 4. It should say, yeah, there we go, category 2. You guys can see here the formation, so you can see that's got a 30% chance of forming. This one's got a 60% chance of forming. All of that's coming very, very soon. Plus, you can already see, I don't know if you guys knew this, but you can already see tropical storm warnings, watches, hurricane warnings, things like that. You can see that on the Storm Tropics Center. So head on over to stormtv.net/tropics. Of course, we've got all kinds of information here. What is the hurricane scale here? What does the category 2 mean? What does the category 1 mean? That sort of thing. If you want to learn a little bit more about measuring storm surge, because whenever we talk about some of these landfalling hurricanes, we spend a lot of time talking about storm surge, so we kind of want to put that in perspective for you guys. We also have some more information coming very soon to this page as well, such as tropical storm watch, tropical storm warning, hurricane watch, hurricane warning, all kinds of information, extreme wind warning. We're gonna make sure that this is your go-to place. Maybe even evacuation information, you know, if there's a landfalling hurricane or something like that. We're going to make sure that the stormtv.net/tropics webpage is the place to go. But really, that's about it that I've got. David, if you want to go ahead and close it out here, I will toss it back on over to you.
Alrighty, thank you very much. And there, I decided to end it off with a beautiful shot. This is out in the coast of Texas. Beautiful shots of the sky. It's nighttime, obviously, or the sun has set. Beautiful shot. Obviously, my computer. There's the Texas flag and American flag flying. If you're not used to how things work over here, my computer's right here, and I have a little like what's it called? It's not really a table, but I just have I don't know how to say it, but a shelf. There we go, shelf. And it's on my laptop right here. So my apologies for hitting that there. All right. So, yeah, beautiful shot. It's gorgeous out there. Low-key wish I was by the water. I mean, there's literally nobody at the beach. That is very shocking to me. I'm going to be honest. So, yeah. All right. So, anyways, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. We will see y'all back here tomorrow with more content. Bryce will be manning the ship, manning the radar, manning everything from noon to 6 p.m. I will be at school. I won't be home until about 5 o'clock-ish. So I will see y'all potentially tomorrow evening. But if no stream happens later in the evening, I'll probably post on socials. But Bryce will be here if anything gets severe or anything gets strong or anything like that. So stay tuned for updates. So again, never miss a storm here on the Storm channel. If you're subscribed or not yet subscribed, make sure to do so. Turn on post notifications so you can never miss a storm with us here in the ATX. All right, y'all have a wonderful night. We'll see you back here tomorrow with more. I'm Chief Forecaster David Alford, along with Bryce and everyone else with Storm. Thank you for tuning in, and have a great tomorrow. God bless.